So Nick, did you have a good time this morning?
Yeah, really good time. It was a great subject to talk on today. I think we'll find out what you talked on today, but I think what I like about it is just the opportunity to look at where God's taking you on there. So I talk very much on being designed to lead, looking at what was Jesus' role as a role model, the fact we're called to follow his example, and that we're all designed to lead. We're made in his image, we're designed to lead.
Brilliant.
So I really really enjoyed kind of unpacking that with people. How about you? Where did you go today?
Very good. So I was at Skipton Baptist Church, had an amazing time there, and looked at three things. I'm going to see if I can remember those three things now.
Yeah.
So we looked at the idea that the leadership that Jesus talked about, it wasn't sort of your leadership like today. Maybe people think, leadership is cult, celebrity status, and whatever, having lots of nice things, being really easy. That actually Jesus' example of leadership starts with the cross, and starts with denying ourselves and letting him lead through us. So we sort of started there, looked at servant leadership, what that was, that Jesus took up the basin and the towel, that was his demonstration of leadership that we are called to embody in our lives.
Good. Yeah, I really like that, because I focused in on the passage from Mark in the second of our points today, and I kind of used my very typical Nick, let's make the language easy, and I changed that to say no to your old life, surrender, give your life to me.
Brilliant.
And let me lead you.
Brilliant.
And just that kind of real thought of, that's the first thing we're called to do. We're called to follow Jesus in his example. I spoke a bit about, I got everyone to think about, what can they think of a famous leader? I did that whole thing, and I used the example of Martin Luther King. I've always wanted to do his I Have a Dream speech, so about half of today was that. But I spoke about him being seen as a great leader, but before that he was a great follower, and the fact that he followed the great role model that is Jesus, the leader, and gave up his life for Jesus. I also looked at that whole, when we talk about leadership, people think, oh, that's not me. And I said, you might be sat thinking, oh, I'm not a leader, Nick. This isn't me. And I talked about the Great Commission. In fact, actually, we were all called to lead others to Christ.
Brilliant.
And that's your calling. That default calling thing. You're called to lead people to Christ.
Exactly. That's what we touched on today. It says who is a leader? Who's called to lead? It says we all are.
Right.
A great point that we also talked about was Jesus qualifies and empowers people. So Jesus didn't just call people to sort of be his entourage and hang around and be the crowd, but Jesus called people to actually do identical things to what he did, to also do the miracles, to also go out and preach the good news. So Jesus basically wants us to, he wants us to be his hands and his feet, and to be him where we live. So I thought that was absolutely fantastic. A completely different vantage point again of leadership, that Jesus wants us to be him where we are.
I kind of went a similar route to you when I finished it, and I looked at this whole concept of we're all called to lead, and I used just the simple bit in Genesis, we're made in his image.
Brilliant.
So when I talked about we're all able to lead, I said actually we've all got those attributes inside us, and I used the three things. We all have the ability to lead because we were made in God's image.
Brilliant.
And then I talked about the fact we were given the Holy Spirit, so we've all been equipped to lead because the Spirit has given us everything we need to do that. And then finished it with that stuff I already mentioned about the Great Commission. We've all been called to lead. So I finished my preach today on we all have the ability to lead, we've all been equipped to lead, and we've all been called to lead. And finish with calling our kind of people around us to Christ.
That's fantastic. So who did Jesus follow?
Well, interesting, because I talked about leadership development. I started off by saying there's some great stuff out there. You can read all these books, but actually it's all in the Bible. And I talked about personal development. And Jesus took himself away and prayed.
Brilliant.
And he spent time with God and he prepared himself. So even Jesus, the most amazing role model we've got, spent time with God as he prepared during his ministry. I pointed out that you could throw away all the leadership books in the world and just have the Bible. You could talk about vision casting, and we've got the Great Commission. You could talk about team building, we've got calling the first disciples. You could talk about servant leadership, washing the feet, You could talk about performance management, and you could find a lot of passages about where Jesus said to the disciples, "You're just not doing well enough." But I'll kind of focus on the fact that Jesus, well, I didn't focus on, but I kind of led on the fact that even Jesus spent time developing himself as a leader, spent time with God and prayer, which is great.
Brilliant. Well done, Nick.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's good.
I was going to say an amazing point then, but I've forgotten it completely, Nick. Yeah,
would have been amazing.
Yeah,
for sure.
never mind. Matt will have to delete this bit out.